Welcome to the Salt Circle Podcast. My name is Hank. With me on this journey through Spectacular Spider-Man is Ben.
Hey.
So, because of scheduling and shit, we're just gonna talk about all of season 2 of Spectacular Spider-Man rather than go through it episode by episode, because Ben's gonna go on vacation and I don't want to wait till he gets back to watch this. So we just did it.
I mean, I was fine with it. I got to sit down and watch it all in one day.
Yeah. I already watched the first 4 episodes and I was like, all right, Ben, we're doing this.
So, I mean, the first thing that needs to be said is, how fucking dare you introduce me to something so good that breaks my heart? Son of a bitch. Like, now is this just like a misery loves company sort of thing? Because
I mean, it's a good show.
It's so
and,
good.
And, it just happens to end on a real downer.
A super downer.
Because of where the show ends and then it didn't get renewed.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know. It's like exactly the end of the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie, except it's more depressing.
Yeah.
God.
It was. Oh my God! I was loving it. Like it was.
I honestly forgot how brutal the Harry Gwen part at the end was. I honestly kind of forgot.
It's rough. I hate it.
I'd block that out of my mind. I mean, because, like, look at it this way. The way I look at it is, well, if the show had kept going, they probably would have killed Gwen at some point, so...
No.
Take solace... Yeah, no, totally.
No. I don't think they would have killed her.
They would have. They 100% would have if the show had gone on long enough.
I don't think it's that type of show.
Nope. Yep, they would have done it. The writers on record said.
The writers, well, okay. I mean, you could have led with that. Now I look like an idiot. I didn't know there was zero debate to be had.
Also, like, fucking the big new evil scientist in this season is Miles Warren, the Jackal, who's known for cloning Spider-Man and being obsessed with Gwen Stacy after she died. I'm just telling you.
But still,
other characters who die in Spider-Man: Captain George Stacy, Gwen's father. Jean DeWolf, another cop, is a character who dies. What's her name? Who's dating Rand Robertson? I think it originally only appeared in the first issue of Amazing Fantasy, but then they wrote this Untold Tales of Spider-Man that was like adventures that take place in between the original issues, and they made her like a way more fleshed out character, but then also killed her at the end.
Oh my God. Jesus. Unbelievable.
Comics are brutal.
So I did take notes for each of the
I want
arcs.
your in the moment reactions to the major arcs.
Yeah.
So first off, we've got the Master Planner arc, I guess.
Yes.
Where it's all about kind of the Sinister Six. We set up Mysterio, we set up Kraven the Hunter. We get a new Sinister Six. It's funny. Mysterio and Kraven were original Sinister Six members, so I think the version in this episode is like the actual Sinister Six. like the original one in comics.
Oh,
'Cause,
okay.
like Shocker and who else was on that team that I'm forgetting now? Whatever, it's different. Oh no, I guess Doc Ock was a member, so that would be. I think maybe Rhino wasn't on the original team
Gotcha.
and is replaced by. It was like replaces Doc Ock in this episode. I think that's true. Then we get. Uh, so we have that, and then we have the Master Planner episode where Spider-Man goes to the Master Planner's undersea base and has to lift a heavy thing in order to escape, which is like is like the story where Spider-Man becomes Spider-Man because he has to he's stuck under a heavy thing and then he thinks about the people he loves and he summons more strength to be able to lift the heavy thing, which is then like the Spider-Man story from then on that they do over and over again. But
I
it's like first done in like that Master Planner story with Doc Ock as Master Planner.
definitely noticed. Well, I remember
Man.
you
They
mentioning
do
it
it.
from Homecoming.
He's stuck under the thing. Like a lot happens in this episode, so he's not stuck there very long.
Yeah.
And like has Gwen literally in front of him, so doesn't have to do like internal thinking about the people he loves and cares about. Yeah.
So it goes with common theme for this series. My first note for the arc was, "God damn it, Peter, you fuck, just choose Gwen. Fuck you." So, I mean, on the on the human side
Peter
of it,
is out of control at the start of this season.
Peter's a fucking shit.
He's
At the
like-
start, at the start, throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
Skipping ahead a little bit, but
It's true. It's true. He's out of control the whole season, but he's particularly out of control at the start, where he's like, "Oh, these two girls like me. How great is that?"
I mean, I think the most out of control.
And then
he
he's
was-
like staring at Mary Jane. It's like, man, she's so hot.
I mean, that's whatever.
Just to
like,
snap in his face to get him to focus, because he's this is like he's so out of it.
I mean, yeah, happens, dude. Yeah, that first arc. So I did not see Doc Ock as the Master Planner like at all. I thought they were gonna do a separate big bad, or like I thought maybe it would be like one of the scientist people or something. I didn't think it would be Doc Ock again.
When we watch the two seasons so close together, it is weird how quickly we go from one Sinister Six. Like we're only like a few episodes away from the last Sinister Six episode. But like when you think about it in terms of like there was like a year between these seasons.
That being said, I really like I mean I haven't I don't know if I've fully experienced any like other form of Doc Ock, like spent as much time with one that I can think of. I really like his presentation. Like him being like the mastermind and shit is so good. I like his delivery and everything.
Yeah, this is a quality Doc Ock.
I love the Electro fight. Like I just love that. I love that he's like just how the villains get taunted in this and how it just works. It's so fun to watch. Like, "Oh, is that all you got, pussy? Bet you can't hit me." And they're just like, "Oh, fuck you, I'll hit you."
They're just he just gets under their skin and they just get so mad. He puts them on tilt. He's such a good troll.
He tilts the shit out of them.
Well, I mean, they're like adults, and he's this like teenager who's just like so much better than.
Imagine how much more tilted they would be if they knew what a shitbag he was. Dude, it's so bad. We had a good line from this from the Craven initial fight that I wrote down. I thought that was fucking great. Where Spider-Man's like, "Pray, quiet, dignity. Do you know me?" I'm like, oh, the self reflection. So good.
Dignity. I don't have dignity.
Dignity. Oh, it killed me. Craven was really cool. I
Yeah,
like
Sergei
his.
Kravinov.
Yeah.
This is I think this. I don't know if there was another version that did the mutating, but I think like turning Craven into like a lion person is an invention of this show.
Okay. I mean, it's cool. It fits in.
It's definitely, yeah, yeah. Like it fits in with kind of what they've been doing, and helps them establish Miles Warren as a piece of garbage.
Mm-hmm.
It's our new evil scientist who's like doing the same shit Kurt was, except he's like actively evil instead of just this shit's happening by accident.
Instead of stumbling into it.
Yeah. But it is funny, like how much Peter destroys Craven in that first fight by the end.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I'm just not fucking higher class.
Well,
You just don't have a chance.
I mean, Craven's still just a dude.
It's true. But I mean, in regular comics, he's just a dude, and he fucks Spider-Man up sometimes. So
Well, they nerfed him.
it's true. I mean, in this, he isn't even Craven. Technically, he's not Craven the Hunter till he becomes a lion person. He still is just I'm Sergei Kravinov. Where it's
Of course, he's fucking
he's Craven.
Sergey.
He's Craven the Hunter, and you know, yeah. In the original comic, he just wears like a lion shirt.
Yeah, I see. I saw that, and those leggings,
Uh-huh.
those blessed paw print leggings. Pretty good. I don't know if I didn't write it down for any of the arcs, so I don't know. I forget where I first noticed it, but one thing that the show did that I thought was awesome was the seasons changing.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
They have, they Spider-Man's looking for those, that non-baggy, like long underwear for under the suit. And like the temperature comes up, and that's all well and fine, but then near the end you have that transition, and it's like there's still piles of snow around in the shadows, but it's not like it's getting warmer. That was cool.
Yeah.
That was great shit.
Yeah. The fact that they like put the attention to detail to time passing over the course of the show,
Very good.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude.
It's not just that like these characters have their arcs and interactions, but like it's all the way it's all mapped out to take place across time. And like so we had Halloween last season, and now we get to it being snowy, and we get winter break.
Yeah.
And Peter needing thermals and jumping into the cold water.
Yeah,
it's like, fucking cold.
Jesus. What if series where Spider-Man jumps in the water and immediately like starts suffering from hypothermia?
Yeah. We also get our Stan Lee cameo at the start of this season.
Yeah. It's good.
Nice to see. Solid. He's like a minor character for a whole scene. It's good stuff. I love how they do Mysterio. All his theatrics and speaking Latin as he's a sorcerer who hates technology.
Fucking.
And I love fucking Bent like could have made his robot double when he gets himself arrested. Like he could have made it look like anyone. Give the credit to Mysterio to someone else. You kidding me?
That was really good.
It's like actors.
Oh, Mysterio, pretty I mean, I like this version of Mysterio better than I like the fucking one from Far From Home. It was
They're very different.
they're very different, yeah. And this one's cooler.
You just say that because this one, his motivating factor isn't that he hates Iron Man.
That's a shit motivating factor. Imagine attacking a different. Man, I really fucking hate Spider-Man. That's why I'm gonna go after Iron Man. If you flip it, like, it's ridiculous. Any like Venom hating Spider-Man, perfect. Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the thing I really love about like most, like the Spider-Man oeuvre of villains is how many of them are just petty criminals, because it makes sense why they then work together.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it makes it so much easier for them to deal with each other and then have interconnected relationships. Whereas like Batman villains are all like tragic people who needed better mental health help. And that's just like that dynamic never, like, you get a lot of similar stuff of like them taking over the criminal world and becoming gangsters or whatever in some parts, but like it never fits as cleanly to me as like the stuff we get in this season of Spider-Man. Because of the way they handled like the gang war stuff later on is I fucking love it.
Good shit. I just noticed on the Wikipedia page for the final episode of that first arc, what a hilarious phrasing that, like, sound out of context is great. The Master Planner and the new Sinister Six plan to take over the world by kidnapping Gwen Stacy. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you need.
That's the plan, right? Kidnap Gwen Stacy to get her dad to do a thing to like hack into.
They could have just
Homeland
added
Security.
to blackmail her dad, but no, just kidnap
Fucking
her.
Vulture saying, "Let's see how secure the homeland is." It's not
Yeah,
my favorite
dude.
part of this.
Solid. The first arc, very solid. But that second arc,
Well, the end of the first arc, we get our big thing of like Peter rescues Gwen, then is like is all set to fucking talk to Gwen about how he feels, and then Liz comes up and she kisses him, and then he's dating Liz.
yeah. God, I hate him so much. I mean, part of it is I also hate him because, I mean, like, it's like, I was the same kind of way in high school, but not as successful. But like early high school me, like 14, 15, whatever, I probably would have been the same sort of shitbag. But I just, like, first the reason I wasn't was because I did not have any girls interested in me. Pretty easy not to encounter that situation. But I definitely, like, I could see myself there. And I hate that guy too. He's a shitbag. So, like, but man.
Yeah, I mean,
God.
Look, they know what you want. It's also like as a structure for a show.
Yeah.
They're like, gotta make it complicated and annoying. For the drama.
That juicy drama, though. It's not annoying, though, is the thing. I fucking love it.
Fun
Eating that shit up.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
Liz Allen in comics marries Harry Osborn, and they have a kid together.
Gross, but mostly because anyone with Harry Osborn is gross.
That's fair.
I didn't really have any other
Yeah.
notes for. Well,
Yeah.
because by the time by the time you were like, "Hey, remember to write stuff down," I had already finished arc 1.
That's
I was
fair.
like part into arc 2.
Hmm.
Um,
So arc 2 is our Venom arc. With
that's
the
not
return
how I
of...
remember it. That took second place for me.
Okay. Well, the main thrust of the structure of the arc is uh, Venom coming back. But first we have first we have a Sandman story. Sandman kind of trying to get a big score, and like he's being rented out to the big man from Doc Ock. You get the thing of, so like once he actually pulls off a job, he gets like a tiny cut because
Yeah.
there's so much overhead. So many like people are taking a cut out of what he's doing. But then he goes to stop this oil tanker, and it's on a beach, and like we finally get Sandman fucking kind of going all out and like using all the sand, which is just great to see. Just Sandman just all over the place, and yeah. So this episode ends with like Eddie Brock's just been like hanging around, and Peter goes to check to make sure he's like just been around, and Peter keeps catching him out of the corner of his eye.
And then he's gone.
And then Peter goes to check to make sure the symbiote's still buried where he left it, and it is, and then he leaves. And Eddie turns up and is like, "I knew if I made you paranoid enough, you'd leave me to the one I love."
Pretty good.
That's
Pretty
pretty
good
fucking good. And he was like running around in like a ski mask and Venom sweatshirt
Yeah, the hoodie.
to make it look like Venom was around when Peter went by.
Yeah.
So our next episode, we get John Jameson growing big.
Captain
He's
Jupiter.
He's getting swole
Large. Massive
because of
gains.
other aliens that were on the symbiote. That's weird.
Yeah, the spores.
Yeah.
I forgot about that, but yes. Also a sad little story. Like
Yeah, so like they
immediately
start
becomes the hero because he's like he's like Captain America basically. Is the vibe I
Basically,
got.
yes.
And then wants to take out Spider-Man after Spider-Man again is a dick and handles the situation. I understand he doesn't want to reveal his identity, but damn, he handles that interaction piss poor.
Yeah. There's also stuff like Venom is now committing crimes to make it look like Spider-Man's been committing crimes.
Yeah.
He's walking around, with the venomness toned down, doing spiders committing crimes and shit. This is the episode with Flash Thompson's birthday party too,
Which was also good.
which was so good. The running bit of the characters like giving their messages to Flash and the video camera. Top notch. That was good
Dude,
shit.
it's really good.
We get to learn why Flash got his name, Flash.
No.
Like you get Flash's mom saying Peter's his best friend because they were best
Mom,
friends in nursery school.
12 years ago.
Good shit. Yeah, Flash has a whole arc this whole season of becoming a better person so that he can get with the girl he likes.
I mean, I'm here for it, dude. That was one of my notes is like watching different people interact differently was so good. I mean,
Yeah.
like getting that with
Character,
Flash.
like people have different,
Dude,
aspects
it's
to them. And sometimes
the
when they're with certain people, they act one way. When they're with other people, they act a different way.
the Sandman thing is easily. I
Yeah.
think that's like the highlight of this season for me. Honestly, I love that shit. I'm an absolute. If there's a run of something that you know of, I'd be absolutely down. Like that, I'm a slut for that.
For
That
like
theme,
his
like
bigness.
yeah, for how big he gets. um, no, that him.
I mean,
him
I
like
also love the thing of like the little girl being bullied. Like these two kids knock
yeah,
over her sandcastle, and then Sandman becomes the biggest sandcastle as they like fucking run away.
and then his
Oh,
excuse is great too. Hammerhead's like, "What, you helping little girls now?" He's like, "Well,
getting
I wasn't.
soft.
I wasn't helping the girl. I was fucking with the teenagers. That's what it was."
Yeah,
But no, that
because
transition,
like
him
yeah,
him
and it,
blowing away at the end, it's like I'm like, please blow into your own comics where you're a hero.
yeah. I mean that is a thing that happened in comics. Was Sandman became a superhero
That's
for a
dope.
while.
For a
It's
while,
like
no, I want it permanent.
nah, I don't think it's permanent.
Well, wait, for a while, as in he eventually turns back, or they let him have a run, and then like they reboot or some shit.
I don't.
I just want a finished story with him as a hero. If they, I want that. I want him to retire.
There are no finished stories in comics, Ben.
I want a finished.
That's not true, but
There
I
are
don't
like
know.
ends of runs, though,
Yes,
right?
uh-huh.
Yeah.
But I don't think his
I want a run to end with him.
his period of being a hero is older than that as a thing.
I just want
So I don't
him.
know if he got that.
I want him to become a hero and then retire happily as a beach in Mexico or something.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Shame.
I don't
But
know why you're like obsessed with superhero characters retiring.
not retiring, but like, well, because like, I mean, what else is the finish? I mean, him sacrificing himself, I guess, is the alternative.
Yeah, but like
or
you're not
something.
even. But on it, but when you were asking me about like he retires and then you still keep getting comics about them.
Well, no, just like I want a story to end. I just want an ending. The series doesn't even have an ending. No, it's just that like a place where I can stop. You know, I guess it's more about that. Like, where is this thing finished where I can leave it in a decent place, like plot wise, I guess. It's not necessarily about the retirement, though. That is a
I don't know. That was just
thing.
like literally a thing you were asking me about.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, I'm still interested. Don't don't get it twisted.
Yeah, but
me the-
it's back to this.
Yeah.
Back on track. So yeah, John Jameson kind of goes crazy. They have a fight where they on like a planetarium, like a setup of big but fake planets.
Yeah, so he gets to
Jumping
throw
around.
Jupiter at
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
Colonel Jupiter gets to throw Jupiter at Spider-Man. And then like Spider-Man just shocks the shit out of him.
2 million volts.
Yeah, and he shrinks back down to normal size, but then it cuts to like him in a fucking
Dude.
mental ward where he's like, I need the power.
Yeah, just rocking
fucking
back and forth. It's
Really
harrowing.
rough. It's
Dude.
not good.
It's so brutal.
And so Jameson, is mad at Spider-Man.
Yeah.
As if he weren't already mad at
I
Spider-Man.
mean, yeah, he was already not happy.
Yeah, and then at the end of the episode, Venom busts in through the window and is like, Peter Parker is Spider-Man, bitches.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, and then we get the I think the final thing is at Flash's party, like Eddie Brock talking on the camera. also we get at the end. That shit's good
For
too.
that episode. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, him just like rolling through.
Mm. Like the confirmation that Eddie Brock was at that party.
Yeah, yeah. That Peter wasn't just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
Oh, and there's, yeah.
Oh, what? What were you gonna?
So like, and like in this next episode, there's just so many good shots of like Eddie Brock, fucking being so happy to shit talk Peter.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like so, like then there are like these interviews about people being asked if is Peter Parker Spider-Man, and Eddie's is like, oh, I don't know how I didn't see it before. Peter Parker is Spider-Man. And it like holds for a frame, and then he just turns into this smile. It fucking kills me.
Yeah, this little weirdly drawn optic.
The way it's like his expression changes with just his like
Well,
the line that is his mouth.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's because we don't have the things around his mouth, so it's just it's just that
Just
one
this
line.
one line
Yeah.
shifts. Oh, it's so funny.
I mean, I liked. I forget if it was in here. I didn't write it down, but I remember thinking in one of these arcs. I think if the show were to go on, they definitely would have had Mary Jane knowing that he's Spider-Man. There was like a shot or two. I think it was in this arc when like everybody was all on Peter Parker being Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
it looked like there
I
was a
mean,
shot of her with the light bulb going on.
Yeah. Yeah, like in comics, they retconned it where she just always knew.
Oh.
Like before she met him.
Oh.
Like that's why
That
she
was
did
weird.
the Basic Tiger thing was. That gets retconned in, but yeah, that's not originally part of it. That's how they handled it in comics.
I mean, the note that I did have for this arc on her, and I don't know what it's related to anymore, but I just wrote down Mary Jane is a saint. So
I mean, that's true. I mean, this version of Mary Jane is also like a tremendous version of Mary Jane.
yeah, dude.
She's just so good.
Well, she's like the straight man in all this, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, honestly, she's probably better adjusted than anyone I know in real life also. Like, what a person.
I don't fucking even remember what episode it is of her and Liz's brother. Like the way they fucking flirt and then talk about not dating.
Yeah, like an unrelationship
yeah.
or whatever. I think that's in the
Unrelationship.
next arc, but I forget where they
think so.
meet. It might be late in this arc.
I'm pretty. Yeah. I don't remember where he comes back. I guess.
Yeah, they introduce him and then
They introduce him first, and then he's not in the show for a bit, really.
yeah.
He might. I think he gets introduced here, but isn't. They don't do anything with him till the next arc.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think he's at the. I want to say he's at the party, but we haven't really met him yet. But yeah, we just get like really good Venom Peter fights and like Venom vs Spider-Man fights in this.
Yeah, dude.
There's like a 6-minute fight at the end of episode 7. It's just fucking so good. I love it so much.
Yeah. No, it seems like the fights in this season are like they ramped it up. It feels like
Yeah.
maybe a higher budget or something. They're just very well done.
And they all have like this is like pure like continuity makes this better because like you've invested this amount in these characters and now they get to do the next step on top of everything else that's come before.
Yeah.
So all like the action and the relationships are all that much more built up.
Yeah.
Um, like the fucking like Spider-Man starts shooting him with web bullets. And he's like, "Was that supposed to hurt?" He's like, "What was that supposed to do?" It's like, "It's supposed to hurt." Oh, good idea. Wrong caliber.
Wrong caliber is such a
Shoots like a bowling ball at him.
yeah, and it fucking goes into the concrete steps or whatever.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
it's
There's
such
a
a
lot
good
of fucking
bit.
like demolition in this season of just like places getting fucking destroyed.
And vehicles. A lot of vehicles getting
Yeah.
shit on. I forget if it was in this fight. One of the big fights. I forget if it was this one, Green Goblin, or the other one. But there was a few points where, like, I feel like they did the thing of Spider-Man goes a little bit quiet because he actually needs to fucking work. And I just remember thinking of that moment with Venom in the first season. I'm like,
Yeah.
I like that. I mean, if it's not what they're doing on purpose, that's what I'm interpreting it as.
We also we get Flash Thompson dressing up as Spider-Man to prove how dumb everyone is about just assuming that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Cause
Yeah. Well, those the criminals are like, he's limping, get him.
yeah, oh yeah, because Flash had his leg injury from the championship game that he's
Yeah.
dealing with this season. So these criminals go after him thinking that he's Spider-Man, and the actual Spider-Man shows up, and I love what's like, oh, you must be the brains of the outfit, and then he hands that, here, hold this, and he hands him one of Flash's crutches that is covered with webs, and the guy like grabs it and then
grabs
is
it.
stuck to it. He's like, what's going on?
Dude, it's so good.
And I love like it's like, see, that's the real Spider-Man, and like news reporters going, you mean Peter Parker? Flash is like, yeah, no.
Yeah, he keeps falling for it.
I would say they don't get sufficient emphasis that Peter isn't Spider-Man in this, but by the end they're just like, no, he's not Spider-Man. Oh, I
mean-
love when Aunt May gets interviewed and she just looks behind the couch. She's like, "Am I being punked?"
Dude, yeah. Am I being punked? That's a good bit.
I loved Kurt and Martha Connors laughing and then going, it would explain a lot.
You know, actually,
It's like,
no comment.
no comment. That one's so good. They're like, oh, that actually makes a lot of sense.
I don't know. I don't know where exactly it happened. I actually forgot. I was gonna go back and do a quick skim to see, because I feel like I missed the exact moment. But when does Captain Stacy? When does he Because like by the end of this, he clearly fucking knows.
Yeah.
Like he's looking Peter in the eye and like, I'll bet you want to go behind that news van and take some photos, huh? Peter's like, yeah, exactly. So like he knows, but I missed the point where we find out that he knows, or where we are supposed to know that he knows.
Yeah,
or
I'm
whatever.
not. He knows before he starts teaching that class, I think.
Yeah.
I think he knows when he's talking to Peter on the phone at the end of episode 4 of this season.
Okay.
But
yeah,
I don't know
after
earlier than that. Yeah.
Sure. That
Like,
makes
oh,
sense.
because that's, I think, the first time they talk, because Peter's like, it's me, Peter Parker. And he's like, I know who you are, Peter.
Yeah.
I don't think they interact much before that.
No, not that I know of.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I mean
he is not an idiot. He's observant.
yeah.
He looks at Venom pretending to be Spider-Man is like that he doesn't fight like Spider-Man. He's way bigger than Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Whereas Jonah's like, that's definitely Spider-Man. What are you talking about? It's clearly Spider-Man.
I love how Jonah is Like he's not just like fully ignoring the police. Like he comes back to Captain Jupiter. He's like, the police aren't 110% certain that that's Spider-Man. You might want to back off.
Yeah.
And then Captain Jupiter's like, no, I'm gonna fuck him up.
He's just lost it at that point.
Yeah. No, it was a good Venom stuff.
Yeah. These, because, like, you only have, like, one episode of Venom in season 1, and there was also only one episode of Venom in the 90s cartoon, so, like, so quickly on the heels of that, the show getting back to Venom and doing a whole nother arc with him, where you get, like, a lot of good Venom fighting, like, I was so happy.
Yeah, dude.
I was so thrilled with this because you just get so much Venom fighting Spider-Man in this.
Yeah.
In a way, a lot of Venom stories, even in comics, don't do. So, and it doesn't end in like it. Yeah, it kind of ends in bullshit, but it's like the way it's engineered, where it's Venom has the gene cleansers to feed to Peter so that he's like unable to protect himself.
Yeah.
And then it gets Peter turning it around and using it on him is so much more satisfying than just like Peter got a sonic gun or he hit a bell really loud and that stopped Venom.
Yeah. I do like that they
he lit this piece of paper on fire and then Venom had to run away.
I like that they use the sound stuff still. Like,
yeah.
It's not like they just forgot it existed and rely only on one new thing. Like, I like that it's a tool without being the end game.
Yes. Like, yeah, it's like, yeah, loud noises hurt Venom. Loud noises hurt humans. Like, fire hurts humans. It doesn't have to be like his kryptonite, though.
Loud noises don't hurt me anymore. Not since I mowed the lawn with blasting music that was loud enough to drown out the lawnmower.
Sure.
Because that's how hearing protection works.
I don't know. I think if you were like near like a space shuttle going off, it might hurt. But...
Nope. It would hurt for a second, and then I wouldn't hear anything else.
Great.
So
I mean, Eddie Brock. We get the line of "No, don't leave me." Like, it's fine, Eddie. You don't have to be about hate. No, it only loves me for the hate.
Him
and then he's being dragged off, and Eddie Brock is just screaming, "We're Venom!" It's like so.
It's really good. So I wanna dive into the next thing.
Move on.
That first
We got
episode 8 is easily the action highlight. Holy fuck, what a good, just to continue, like nearly the entire damn episode is just an action sequence. It's so fucking good.
It's very good.
So,
We've got the auction. I love that it starts with like Black Cat breaks into this place, and then like Hammerhead walks in. Is like, "You don't want to be here." And she's like, "Oh, I didn't know the big man." Yeah, just leave.
Yeah,
she
like
just walks out the front door.
Nobody gives a shit. She's just like, "My bad."
Whoops.
Great.
I didn't know that. I love fucking Patches.
Oh. Let's see. Did I have? Because this was arc 3 was the first one where I wrote notes the whole time.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, I just wrote about how good the fight is, the animation.
I love that Dr. Octopus's plan is like he just tells Rhino that this is a drive so that someone can create more rhinos. And Rhino's like, "No, I'm going to destroy it. No more rhinos."
Yeah, he's like, "I'm the only one."
I just love that he goes, "No more rhinos."
I love the
and Spider-Man and Rhino teaming up is also great.
Dude, it's solid. I
And
love
then Rhino betrays him. And Spider-Man is like, "You wound me." Oh, he's like posing.
I love Doc Ock's I guess delivery when he's talking to Rhino about it. Like it's a serious thing. Like I thought you would want to know.
I thought
Like,
you would
just-
want to know.
Just so serious. I'm like, it didn't click. It was serious enough that it didn't click at first that he's just talking about the other rhinos. But then yeah, so good.
So there are like, so we have like these different factions vying who are gonna. There's gonna be a gang war, and these different factions are gonna have to gather their forces. And there's basically Norman Osborn is putting up a drive for the instructions for how to create rhinos.
Yeah. And we
A
have
rhino army.
allegedly Tombstone, aka Big Man, and then we have the old guard.
In this episode, it's just him. We don't really have the bosses in this episode. We've got Hammerhead representing the Big Man. Dr. Octopus is there, but he doesn't. He sends Rhino once the fight actually starts, and we have Silver Sable representing Silvermane, who is like the former gangster head of New York before Tombstone took over. And this is his daughter Silver Sable.
Yeah.
And then we have Patches,
Just
he's the Beagle reporter who's got Jameson to put this money into this account so that he could be there to write a story about this. Although there are some points where it's like things go wrong. It's like, oh, my story. It's like, how is that the end of? How do you not still have a story though? Like what makes or breaks that story is weird to me. But
well, that's why you're not in news.
it's true. Like even if Spider-Man doesn't win, can't you still just write your story about the criminal bosses getting the Rhino codes or whatever?
Nope. Spider-Man literally the only thing selling newspapers. In 2008, newspapers are on the way out. The kids only want them because
It's 2009 at this point, Ben. It's 2009.
Okay, so they're basically dead. It's over.
And they fuck up that parking garage.
They really well. I mean, there is no parking
There is a
garage when
rhino
they're
in
done. Yeah, they did leave a rhino. He does not give a fuck. He's just punching out the pillars. He's like, I'm bringing the place down. It's good shit.
It's so good to see like Rhino like up against other people. So like it kind of makes him like you're like, oh right, Rhino's actually kind of impressive. I don't know. Because there are times when like he's like Spider-Man's just like completely outplaying him. You're like, he's just an idiot. But like it's good to see like I like when you get to see these villains like in a different context, like be intimidating. And also this show just always does actually the hit Rhino is really fucking good.
Yeah.
So like even his first episode is really good.
Moving into the second one.
Wait, well, like the end of it is, I forget even Robert Kingsley is the one who wins the bid for it by overbetting everyone, but he is not ready. He's not prepared to hold on to it.
Not at all.
And then eventually Rhino does step on it and destroy it, but then it turns out it was fake anyway. And Norman just played all of these people against themselves, and he got all the money for selling it in this private unmarked account,
$500 million.
And he still has all the information too. So
yeah, so I love the guy,
real winner.
The guy telling him like, you can resell it again, or you can use it yourself. I forget I don't know if this note was for episode 1 or 2. But at some point in here, I began to suspect the new doctor, whatever his name is. who comes into Dr. Connor's lab and is like, I'm the big dick now.
Miles Warren, who creates Craven.
I mean, like,
You only now start to
okay.
suspect him.
Let me rephrase. Suspect, like how big will he get? You know, like
Sure.
what level will he like become a Doc Ock character where he's heading a group, or will he just be a one-off? Will he be a subordinate or a leader? I guess.
Yeah, because he leaves out his research so that Kurt can find it, but then like tells Kurt he found out about his lizard shit and like has a picture of him fighting Spider-Man.
Yeah.
As the lizard fighting Spider-Man, and it's like, no, I own you. You can't do shit.
Yeah. But no,
And
I mean,
yeah,
obviously.
Miles Warren, he's the Jackal.
That means nothing to me. That's just
Clone
another animal.
He clones Spider-Man. The Clone Saga. Heard of that? That was. He's the Jackal, creating all the clones. Well, again, the deep reveal of the Clone Saga was then that they decided no, Norman Osborn had been behind it the whole time, but
naturally,
that's when Norman Osborn gets like literally he died in the story where Gwen Stacy died, and that's when they bring him back as the end of the Clone Saga. And that's kind of where he becomes his modern version, where he's like the Joker plus Lex Luthor.
Gotcha. I don't think this is the first arc where we had it, but the stuff. This is my first note about Harry, also with the Green Goblin implications.
Yeah, they show him like pulling up some
Yeah.
floorboards and finding the globulin green. He definitely has a part where he talks about Liz's brother about gambling and addiction.
Oh yeah. I remember it ends
in the
with
next
that
episode.
shadow, like the goblin shadow.
Yeah. They're trying to string you along with different things, like who could be the goblin by the end.
Yeah.
They just want to like
They
keep
fucked me
all
up the entire
avenues
time.
open. Nice.
Is this
I just also want to say Silver Sable rules.
Silver
She's
Sable?
just good.
Fucking great, dude. I feel like
I also love the like Silver Sable and Hammerhead, like they used to date.
Yeah.
They're like flirting with each other while they're fighting the whole time.
I mean, maybe I was just noted, like maybe it's in my head, but looking at the fights and stuff, I feel like they put more attention into Silver Sable. In some parts, it felt that way. It probably is not that way, but no, she's great.
She's got her staple gun.
Big
staples.
Big fucking thick staples. Don't even.
Yeah. So like this next episode we get the return of the enforcers.
More importantly, we get a Midtown High police car ride along.
That's true. Peter gets paired up with Sally Averill.
That accent though.
She's so mad.
She's just so angry at him for, well, who wouldn't be fucking mad? He single-handedly undid the socio-culture at high school. Like, he's fucking it all up.
The nerds are sitting with the jocks. It's all mixed up.
Yeah, it's all.
They sat at the same table together.
It's fucked up, dude. In what world is that okay? That's no good. How does that prepare the kids for a classist society?
Anyway, we get the new enforcers. where Ricochet and Ox now get voice actors, or I guess Fancy Dan and Ox. Fancy Dan becomes Ricochet,
Yeah.
even though Fancy Dan was a top tier name. I'm just saying, but now he's Ricochet and Ox is just Ox because he's a big, strong guy. You know, it is what it is. But he's got a mustache.
Yes.
And they get like the big thing is that Tombstone is like setting this up. He's not going through Hammerhead. Hammerhead's fucking mad about it. And Tombstone's like, "Well, you've been fucking up like a lot." So yeah. So like they actually have a pretty good plan where they rob a bank, but then Spider-Man kind of stops them, but they get away. But robbing the bank was just a distraction for them to steal some security guard uniforms so that they could break into a bigger bank and then steal a bunch of gold. I assume it's the gold from Die Hard 3 under the big gold reserve in New York City that's in Die Hard 3 referenced. That's like the main movie that let me know about that idea. More gold at Fort Knox.
Would not know. I've never seen the sequels.
Die Hard 3 is great. It's got Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah. I like the Enforcers.
So like that, they like actually have a good plan.
Yeah,
it's actually a good heist idea.
Well, it's because
just,
they're not. It's not fucking Rhino and Sandman.
Yeah, no, there's like a thing of like, okay, at least put Montana with like the dudes he actually like gets along with.
Yeah, put a team together and instead of a bunch of assholes.
A team that like actually has some chemistry with each other, though it still winds up with them like attacking each other anyway. But
Happens.
So it happens when you're fighting Spider-Man. So they get down into this gold vault, they break the elevator, and then the Shocker like digs a hole to their train getaway car thing.
Yeah.
Peter is on the ride along and then has to say, "No, I'm gonna hang out behind that van, to take pictures."
Yeah.
It's like incredibly conspicuous, but Captain Stacy like basically knows he's Spider-Man at this point already, so he's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever."
He's better at.
What do you need to do?
He's far better at covering up Peter's shit. Like, how hard is it to lie? It's not difficult. Like, even after the fact, when Sally is like, "Where were you?" and blah, 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 and Captain Stacy's like, "Oh, you must have left your camera on auto to take pictures while you took a break."
He went to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Pee. Very important. Where is he gonna pee?
And fucking Peter's just like, yeah. That's totally what it was.
Oh yes, that's definitely or when he's late. It's like, "Oh, did your bike get messed up?" "Yes, my bike."
Yeah. Like, goddamn, Peter, just be a normal human being.
No, that's impossible. Have you seen this kid?
Ugh.
He is.
I
There are
mean,
hormones going on. He's got a lot. He's dealing with a lot. Okay.
Look,
he's dealing with a lot.
I want to know. I want this. I want the show to come back, but instead, it's just a prequel series showing how Peter actually managed to get two friends. Because I don't know how the fuck that happened.
I mean,
that's the origin story I want.
Okay, first of all, Harry sucks and didn't have any friends either.
True. Okay, so the real origin story is why the fuck is Gwen hanging out with him?
Because she had a crush on him.
Why?
Just,
Oh, she's mentally unstable, I see.
She had a crush on him and then, followed him around and just was around. you know.
She could do better.
Yeah. Although she's dating Harry, so definitely could do better than that.
I
Man,
mean,
Harry is such a like as bad as Peter is. Harry is
so much worse. Harry is infinitely fucking worse.
Like that's one of the things is as bad as Peter is, you do have an example of someone who's just worse in every way.
Yeah. Gangland was a fucking top tier episode. The final bit in that arc, dude. The non superhero bits were fantastic. The superhero bits were fantastic. Like, it was just such a great. I mean,
I love Jonah going to the opera with his wife.
Dude, him bailing. He's like, there could be news, and he just dips. It's so fucking good. What a good excuse.
I mean, also him yelling to tell other people to be quiet.
Yeah.
He just has no volume control. Him falling asleep.
The whole thing is just absolutely perfect.
I love the setup of like Hammerhead sort of knows what he's doing, but it's all been orchestrated by the Goblin. So he's like, they're just like, how did you block our comms? And it's like, yeah, I blocked your comms.
Yeah. God.
Like, he didn't even like the poison in the plant was set up for him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's very good of like how like nobody believes Hammerhead could do this because he kind of can't. Like, it is all set up for him.
Yeah.
Although, if I have to say, Tombstone, if you're already this like distrustful of Hammerhead, why did you let him in this meeting?
Yeah, no shit.
like letting him in and then shit talking him, not the move.
Yeah. Rotating to Peter quickly.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
That Valentine's Day stuff.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Them all getting it in the same table together because Flash is like, has to tell Peter, I'm too stupid to live. I need your help.
You skipped an important bit though.
Sure.
Yeah. The bit where fucking Gwen shows up with Mary Jane and Peter's like, you look like an angel.
He does say the thing. He does say the thing.
Why? I cannot ever fucking imagine. That's like something that like a 60-year-old dude comments on the Facebook photo of some model that like just into the void essentially. Who says that? Boys between the ages of 9 and 15?
Adult men writing boys between the ages of
I need to reevaluate.
15 and 8 or 15 and 4, I don't know. 15 and 2. Yeah, it's not a good line.
It's a bad line. So yeah, him just being a shitbag, like, Liz, oh, you look nice. Gwen, holy fuck. You're like the hottest thing I've ever seen. And then later, oh my god, I would just annoyance shifted to maximum. I'll try to come back soon, Gwen. I'm sorry. Oh. Jesus. I never wanted to punch a kid so bad in my life. What an absolute shitbag. Oh my god.
It's brutal.
Just ridiculous.
Brutal.
Okay. Yeah, that's my Peter stuff out of the way.
So we get introduced to Silvermane this episode.
Yeah. He's cool.
He's pretty good. This angry old man.
Yeah, dude. He's you.
And he's got a power armor suit.
Yeah, he does.
The fight. and we get a 3-way. Hammerhead makes his move, but then like immediately blames Tombstone for doing it. And Tombstone is like, what the fuck? Tombstone also plays it bad because he just like lets it happen. He does not like say, whoa, 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 whoa. He's just like to Hammerhead, we were gonna talk later. Like,
Yeah.
maybe you should have like started before you wound up in a death match with Silvermane and Doc Ock. Like, because then like later he's like, no, this was all Hammerhead, and it's like, we don't believe you. It's like you needed to make that aggressively clear earlier, my dude.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
I do like Doc Ock's just in like also Doc Ock in a suit. That's just funny.
Yeah.
Is this at some point he shows up like looking like Dracula. Like he has like a fucking rose on his thing.
Yeah, that's.
Is that this scene?
I think
Does he
so.
show
Yeah.
To this,
He's looking spiffy.
it's so funny. Become a crime boss.
The fight itself is very good.
Mm-hmm. I like the part where Peter's like, "Why am I trying to stop this?" And then like they destroy a pillar and a bunch of people are like, "We're gonna fall to their death," and he's like, "Right, public safety."
I love the opera weaving in and out, and then after a while, it's just like the sound effects cut entirely.
Yeah, for the final Peter Tombstone fight,
it's so
at the
good.
very end.
It's so good, dude. What a great scene.
Yeah, that shit's so good. Because also we've seen like the Tombstone. I think you remember our last physical altercation where I totally destroyed you, and Peter's like, "That's fine. I can't give up. I can't run away or look the other way though.
Yeah.
So we have to do this."
And then he comes out okay, but he gets. I mean, he does the thing, but Jesus, he gets beat to shit.
Yeah. Tombstone plays him like the drums.
Tombstone picking up a fucking pipe or tire iron or whatever the hell. That's not a good day for anyone else.
Yeah. Silvermane gets taken out pretty easily because Peter realizes like there are hydraulics in this. I just need to pull off all your knee pads and you're done.
Pretty solid.
And he's just like shouting, "This can't happen to Silvio Manfredi." He just can't move.
Yeah.
Shit's good.
And then
I like Tombstone having to like turn on Doc Ock in the fight because he's like, "Oh, I have to preserve my L. Thompson Lincoln identity." But at the end of the episode, Spider-Man just pulls him out of a hole beaten up and is like, "He's the big man." And Captain Stacy walks up, he's like, "I put him under arrest." It's like, do you actually have evidence? There's nothing about that fight that provided that evidence.
Spider-Man provided the evidence when he said that he was the big man. It's just that simple.
And then Jonah's like, "You can't just arrest that guy." But it's all about Patches. Had the intel.
Oh yeah.
He was because he's like a waiter.
Yeah.
Hammerhead Catch like, "Patches, what are you doing here?"
I'm just
like,
trying to make extra scratch.
Money. I was like at this giant this auction for the greatest crime lords spending the most of money, and now I'm working as a waiter at this opera house. You know how it goes. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Gig economy.
Gig economy. Fuck.
His fake beard and eye patch. I do also like to see where Peter like finds out that he's Patches.
Yeah. That was a good
in the auction episode.
Yeah, after in the alley or whatever.
He like recognizes him and then he's like, "Oh.
Oh shit." I did not see the Green Goblin bit coming.
Where then it was the Green Goblin at the end of that episode?
Yeah.
In Tombstone's room?
Did not see it at all.
Wow.
What do you mean? Wow, where were the breadcrumbs?
That fucking Norman had set them all up on the hammer on the last thing.
Unrelated. Look, my obliviousness makes for great surprise at reveals.
That's
I get to fully
fair.
enjoy the mind of a child. Whoa, Green Goblin? What? I did. I was very happy with the reveal.
It's fair.
Good shit.
And then we have our the Valentine's Day thing. Is also where we get our breadcrumb of Mark Allen talking to Blackie Gaxton
Oh yeah, yeah.
and then buying all the roses. Like our hint about him getting back into gambling and organized crime affiliations.
Oh yeah, because doesn't he say like I'm all in on the roses or whatever?
Yeah.
I'm always all in.
I mean, that's all that he keeps saying. That's his catchphrase. Sandman's got the big score. Mark Allen's all in. You gotta have a thing.
Couple of guys just.
It's
like,
a good starting point. You make them fleshed out later, but you need the starting point. Because they're cartoon characters for children, so
Yeah.
you know. We have Mark and
Well, let's.
Mary Jane like trying to console Liz. That happens this episode at the table. I remember.
Yes.
I remember them talking as like a unit.
Yeah.
That happens in this episode.
Yeah, I forget what they. I remember the scene. I don't remember what they say.
Yeah, me either. The big thing I remember is I think at the end, when Peter goes, I think this is episode where at the end Peter goes to Liz's place and Mark answers the door and like gives him the "she's too good for you" line.
Yeah. Like,
And it's like, it's not about you fucking being late and having a job. It's about how you're clearly into Gwen Stacy.
Yeah.
And it was fucking
Clearly
embarrassing.
Fucking into Gwen Stacy.
Yeah. So that happens.
Yes. Yeah.
And then we get our final arc, which is our Green Goblin arc.
So I want to start by saying I don't know the term
I
for
think
it.
at the end of the episode, maybe we get the Captain Stacy saying like, the bigger problem is like Tombstone gets out on bail and Peter's mad and Captain Stacy's like, yeah, don't worry about it. We got him on surveillance. It's fine.
Yeah, like what do you say? Like 6 different groups are watching him now.
6 different government agencies are
Yeah.
watching his every move. His operation is crippled, and Peter's like, "Oh, well then." And then Captain Stacy's like, "The bigger problem is you've created a void in the criminal underground, and nature abhors a void."
It's good line.
To set up the Green Goblin moving in
Yeah.
next arc.
I fucking love the last arc, like weaving in the characters speaking in the play, like the auditions. Holy shit. It's so good, dude.
All that Shakespeare.
All that Shakespeare. And I mean it's jumping ahead a little bit, but like we see it in the auditions a little, I suppose. The Spider-Man Green Goblin outfits. God. It's so fucking good. Love it. I think the first thing I had written down was a quote, but I can't remember what what the context was. All I wrote
Sure.
down was to raise my blood pressure. It's like, why do you one of the villains, like, why do you do this to me?
Oh no it's like, why would Spider-Man be
Right,
conspiring
right,
to do all this
right.
stuff?
Jonah
And
Jameson.
Jonah's like,
Right,
to
right,
raise my blood
right,
pressure.
right. Oh, so good. Okay, yeah, it's coming back.
Clearly, Spider-Man's only goal.
I fucking love it, dude. Him yell, like, his delivery of that line is so top tier.
Yeah. God, what a good Jonah performance. But yeah, so our first episode, we get Mark getting turned into the Molten Man.
Yeah.
Gets into, and it's like told out of order, kind of, where we have him as the Molten Man fighting Peter in Montana's bar, and then we kind of cut back to individual characters one by one to like fill in the picture of what happened.
Yeah.
Which basically, Mark was in a lot of debt, and to get off it, agreed to be a human experiment. And Miles Warren was like, "Yo, I got the better Rhino version now, where you'll put the armor under the skin. Also, as a side effect, you become molten hot and can shoot lava."
God.
That's a side effect that he did not seem to anticipate. It wasn't in the plan. It was just supposed to be strong armor.
I mean,
So that's funny. And so the power, he doesn't, like, they tell him that it's about, like, using your willpower to turn it on and off, but really it's a button that the Green Goblin has.
yeah, just tricking him.
Also, I love the Green Goblin hanging out at the track in a fedora and trench coat.
Him bumping past.
Peter makes up with Liz at the start of this episode.
Ugh.
And then she talks to him about her brother's gambling problem, so he starts following. Because, you know, Spider-Man following someone, that could never go bad.
No.
When is Spider-Man just attacking somebody in a troubled state who now has superpowers? When has that ever gone bad?
Yeah. It's foolproof.
It's time-honored tradition.
It's a lock, you could say.
It's a lock. Yeah, so Green Goblin turns Mark on at the track. Also,
Yeah, he does.
Mark bets
He gets
his $100 on the Golden Chance and instantly loses again. It's like, can't be stopped. Bad gambler. God, betting on horses, no good. Spider-Man fights him and gets like blown back, and then there's like a permanent like handprint,
Yeah.
like scar,
Seared.
burn mark on his sear on his costume in the rest of the episode. So then Mark goes back to, he's like, I gotta get to Blackie to get him to turn it off. So he goes to Montana's bar where Blackie Gaxton is. And then the Goblin meets him there and is like, yeah, I'll turn it off if you kill Spider-Man. And he's like, sure, I'll kill Spider-Man. That's fine. Also, Liz and Mary Jane show up around this time looking for Mark. So they end up trapped behind the bar as Montana's bar goes up in flames with Spider-Man and Molten Man fighting. And Spider-Man's like, no, there are girls here. And he's like, nah, I don't believe you. And he keeps trying to help, but makes things worse because he's fucking on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then at a certain point, Peter's like, all right, you're not fucking calming down. You need to be stopped. And takes him out.
Yeah. Yeah, shit's rough.
Goes to jail. Mary Jane and Liz not happy.
Yeah, I just forget. I forget like the ending, like how they.
I think it's just like Liz crying, holding Peter. He like shows up and she's like, "Oh, so you could get pictures?" And he's like, "No, I just be here for you." And she just like cries into his arms, and I think that's just where the episode ends.
Right.
Just sad,
Yeah.
just above her. Then the next episode opens with them saying we've got the vault, the new super prison for super villains, and we've got our first prisoner. They put Spider-Man in a jail cell, and then we get the intro, and then it's like, oh, Spider-Man agreed to help us test this prison system. But Jonah's just very happy to see Spider-Man in a jail cell. He's just way too into it.
Dude is basically like vibrating from happiness.
Well, until Spider-Man escapes.
Well, I mean, kind of even then, like the entire time, everyone's like, "Dude, calm down, Jonah, please."
True. He's a little out of it. So at the same time this is happening, Black Cat breaks into this prison because it's like they're talking about it's the new prison. It's the vault. It's like a repurposed old prison, though.
Yeah.
It's not a new building, I guess. And she's here to break out her father, the cat.
That's his name, just the cat.
Yeah. Well, that's
I don't know if they reveal. I don't know if they reveal it.
He says, I think he says like when he's talking about how he's like talks about himself as a third person. Like the cat always used to take pride in not carrying a gun. But then as he got older,
he talks about how like he got
as
slower
when they, because they make a change. They make the cat the one who shot Uncle Ben.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which is not true in the comics. They have combined things. And I don't love it. Like I get the drama of it, but sometimes it's like you're making things a little too connected, and I don't love making the person who shot Uncle Ben like a more important character, just on principle. I don't think this is done poorly or anything. Just like I'm not super into that.
I mean that's same thing that started happening with Star Wars that I didn't like, but too much.
Sure.
A little connection, a little taste, delicious. Too much. Now I got a tummy ache.
Yeah, making Rhino and Sandman like criminal buddies before they got superpowers, great.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Top tier. Yeah, now then it turns out that the Goblin is in control of the vault security and is also fucking with Spider-Man the whole time.
Yeah.
And he's rhyming because he's like, I'm in a rhyming mood.
Which goes in with the Shakespeare stuff, and it's super good.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That whole
it's at the end of the Molten Man episode where like there's a scene where Mary Jane and Liz are like acting poorly, and the director guy's yelling at them that they don't have passion. And then at the end, they act like very well, and he's like, "Yes, yes," because they actually feel incredibly sad,
fucking depressed.
He's like, "Yes, feed me your tears," and I just imagine like the writers, like, "Yes, feed me your tears."
Just ridiculous.
Yeah, we got a lot of good, the show makes good use of, like, who's in the vault? Got Rhino, we've got a Mysterio robot. I love Montana go, you learn a lot about a guy when you're in a prison cell with him, and like it reveals that the back in his cell is a fucking robot, and like presses a button and it flips over into being Mysterio. That's very funny. So then we get more of the Mysterio homunculi that say quips, and we never talked about those. I realized they're in all the Mysterio episodes.
The little
Goblin,
the little bat goblin things.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, they're
they exist.
there. They get exploded in a kid-friendly manner.
Yeah,
Peter or Spider-Man fucking off screen, like they pan the camera up and he like smashes one with a fucking fire extinguisher.
there's a point I think in this episode where one of them just starts saying non sequitur
Yeah.
before it gets smashed. It's like random humor though. It's 2009. Everybody loves random humor.
I mean, yeah, dude.
So then it turns out like to get all the criminals in the prison back under control because Goblin has let them out. They're gonna lead them into the room with all the knockout gas,
which
and
which gets Spider-Man saying to what is his name, Magma Man, Molten Man,
or Mark Allen.
Whatever, Marky Mark, Magma Mark. He's like, I bet you can't. What is it? Just I bet you can't hit me from there with a lava ball.
He's like, that's a sucker's bet.
That's a sucker's bet. I'm all in. And of course, fucking, it's the thing. God,
like you're an idiot.
It's so fucking. I just love watching it.
Just like you're very easily manipulated because you're dumb.
Incredibly easily manipulated.
Yeah, and then it turns out Peter recognizes the cat as the guy who shot Uncle Ben, and he's pretty mad.
Yeah.
He's not happy. And the Black Cat's like, no, it's fine. See, I'll help you. You let my dad leave. It's all fair. You just look the other way this one time. And Peter's like, nope, that's not happening.
Did you just fucking suggest that I look the other way? Ugh.
Can't be done.
That's why he watches people enter their PIN code at the store. Can't look the other way.
But, yeah, and we get, like, the cat, Walter Hardy, being, having contrition about having shot Uncle Ben. And he's like, I deserve to be in jail.
I mean, yeah, dude.
So he agrees to, like, be the one to stay behind to turn on the gas.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Black Cat was like, Spider-Man, you're the hero. You wouldn't let anybody else do it.
Yeah. It wouldn't be noble.
Yeah. So he does that. Spider-Man gets out. Then Green Goblin attacks him because he's like, well, if everyone else failed, Spider-Man not only escaped from the vault, but defeated every prisoner within it. But, attack the villain when he's down. That's the Doc Ock plan that also never works, but, go for it. But then Black Cat helps out, and then Goblin, like, just runs away. But now has revealed himself as being back to Spider-Man. And then Spider-Man's like, hey, thanks for the help. And Black Cat's like, you somehow infected my father with your conscience, and he's gonna rot in jail because of you. I'll hate you. I hate you forever. And she's crying, and she leaves.
I mean,
those things have to be sad.
Yeah, I get it, but like he also clearly had the conscience beforehand.
Yeah. And that's that episode.
Yeah.
Forget what we're cutting back to. with the school stuff in that
I
one.
I was about to say, actually, I can't fucking remember at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot
I mean,
going
just
on with
just
the
more with
vault
like
and shit.
Probably with like Flash getting the role or trying to get the role and like all that stuff. Just that's
No,
all
he
I
gets
remember.
the thing that gets him the role is when he pretends to be Spider-Man.
Oh, that's right. That's
And then
that's
because
back
like
before.
because he tries out, he's like, it's hilarious. He like tries to step out of the light so that he can read because the light's too bright in his eyes.
And then they
So he
shine
can
it on
read
him
the
again.
script. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's just reading it, and he's not. He's like reading it in his intonations, and then he's like, "This is supposed to be English."
Yeah.
But then the director sees him like on TV pretending to be Spider-Man. He's like, "You're perfect to be the jackass in my play." Basically, is the joke. He's playing the character who gets turned into a donkey. He's a jackass. Ha! It's a joke on Flash.
I mean, pretty good.
Pretty good.
Transitioning his head into the thing. Very solid.
He gets the girl he likes is holding his head in the play and says, "I love you," on stage.
And then they like cut
He
into
wins.
him like in the mask or whatever. And he's like, oh.
Yeah. Oh, she said a thing. I like hearing that. Yeah, we also get the like. Yeah. So then we get our Green Goblin is taking over the city. Peter and Gwen finally talk
Yeah.
and are like, we're gonna break up with our people. And Peter breaks up with Liz, and she's like, "You don't break up with me. I break up with you."
And then breaks up with him very loudly, goes and cries by the dumpster.
Yeah.
High school stuff.
High school stuff. Mary Jane realizes Peter and Gwen finally talk to each other, goes finally. After Liz breaks up with Peter publicly, Sally goes finally.
Yeah.
We get our scene where Harry, before all that even, we get our scene of Harry talking to Gwen, and then Gwen telling Peter to come over, where Harry reveals that he's not the Goblin and that the Goblin kidnapped him, and that's why he's been missing.
Yeah.
Oh, the last episode was the play. The play was last episode, right? Because Harry's missing that whole episode. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
We cut back to the play with Hobie being Puck. And finally getting to talk.
Yeah, after getting blocked.
Yeah. Right, that's how it goes. Because I was thinking maybe the play was in the last episode, but no. Because Harry has to be around again. Because the thing is, Harry doesn't show up to the play because they need you to suspect that he still could be the Goblin.
Yeah.
But in this episode, it's revealed the Goblin kidnapped Harry, and now Harry's escaped. He hasn't taken the green again, though he was tempted. So now after Peter has now that Harry isn't the Goblin, Peter's brain starts racing about who could be the Goblin.
They had
it's
me.
Norman.
They had me the entire time, dude. Like,
Who did you think? Were you just like jumping from person to person?
I was pretty set on. I mean, I guess it's a bit late. Well, I mean, it's later on, where they're trying to figure out like who's the Goblin or whatever, and like Harry's mom walks in, and then like they tell her to fuck off, and she walks out, and I'm like, it's her. And then later in the helicopter, Harry's like, Mom? And I'm like, validation. I fucking did it. And then I was that was wrong.
And it cuts to Norman like shrugging.
Yeah, and he's like,
that's
maybe, yeah, maybe. I'm like, that's enough. That's enough for me.
nope,
Confirmed.
you're not.
Confirmed.
Definitely not. You missed the most important detail, which was that Norman apologized to Spider-Man.
I definitely missed that detail. It'd been too long.
That was the clue.
I know, but it'd been
clue.
so long.
It's going back to episode 1. Norman Osborn never apologizes.
I know episode fucking 1 though. How am I supposed to remember?
I mean, for at least it wasn't like over a year ago for you. But yeah, so they set it up as maybe it's Donald Mencken as the other person who has. And I love when Peter and the Goblin are fighting. He's like, the Goblin goes, Mencken, you fucking bought that? Oh, you dumb bitch. He's like, so like, oh my god, I can't believe you actually fell for that one. Right, like he bought Mencken this new apartment and moved him there and then loaded it with gas. And then that's when Peter shows up, he gets gassed.
Yeah.
He like places bombs all around Norman's apartment. So we get
literally.
We get Harry Cowboys up is in a helicopter with Norman, and then we get Spider-Man Green Goblin fight, and in the fight Spider-Man pulls off Goblin's mask, revealing that it was in fact Norman the whole time. And his head just looks wrong on that body, kind of. And also, he just goes back to talking like Norman. The Goblin voice is just completely gone once the mask is gone.
Yeah.
Which I guess like lays into the some people's like when he's like putting up a mask and he's like people say the people take on the personality of the mask they wear or whatever. However he phrases it. There's definitely a scene in there.
Yeah.
But it's basically, it's like when he's wearing the mask, he's the Joker, and then he pulls the mask off and he's Lex Luthor. He's like, that's basically it. Which, you know, that's kind of true to the modern version of Norman in the comics. Because, like, well, classically, it was like actual split personality. And Norman would be the one who would black out and not remember anything of being the Goblin. And then when they brought him back from the dead, they just made like normal Norman the evil businessman and like mastermind behind the Clone Saga, and the Goblin is just like still a maniac.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, it's
basically you know Lex Luthor plus the Joker.
I really think. I mean, I kind of have to take your word for it. I don't know much about Lex Luthor.
That's fair.
He's
evil businessman.
He's bald?
That's the big difference, yeah. Lex Luthor gets his power from being bald.
I know Lex Luthor.
Again, what am there's the story, I think it's in Red Sun, which is a Superman story of what if Superman grew up in Russia, the Soviet Union. And I think there's a thing like of Lex Luthor at one point in that story, like when he like goes full evil, he like shaves his head and he's like, I realized my hair had been holding back my true potential.
Unbelievable. God.
Which is pretty great. I think it's Red Sun. It might be some other Superman story, but I think that's where it's from.
The most experience I have with Lex Luthor is from the DC Superhero Girls
Okay.
show. Yeah.
Yeah, he's played by Clancy Brown in the Superman 90s animated show and the Justice League stuff, and is a really good version of that character. But that's where I'm grounded on my Lex Luthor version from that cartoon. Yeah, and Norman reveals that, like, yeah, I dressed up Harry as the Green Goblin and broke his leg.
Yeah, dude, that fucking scene where Harry's like on the ground and he's just like, and Harry's like, just fucking snaps.
He's like, You know how easy it is to fake a limp?
That fucking line. Oh,
Like he like pre-faked a limp to then go break his son's leg to frame his son as the goblin. Like what a fuck.
God.
And then fight ends with then like Peter like throws him into like a vat of pumpkin bombs that all explode.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to the funeral scene from the end of Spider-Man the movie. Where it's Norman's funeral and Harry's like, "My dad needed help. He was addicted to the green. I know as well as anyone what that can do to you. Thank goodness I have you, Gwen, or I would turn back to the green myself."
God. Fucking toxic as shit.
Oh, God. So Gwen and Peter can't be together because Gwen has to stay with Harry, the piece of garbage. And Harry like has heard Peter and Gwen over
Right, yeah.
talking about how they're gonna break up, so he's 100% is being a piece of garbage.
Yeah, it's not him like actually being worried.
Yeah, no.
God, what a shitbag. The real shitbag.
And
TM.
and that's how the show ends.
No, the show ends with
Oh,
Norman
no.
Osborn in the fucking disguise with the Hawaiian shirt and the mustache, like the blonde.
Right, we get Kurt and Martha and their son are moving to Florida, and also getting on that plane is a Norman Osborn in a Hawaiian shirt with a fake mustache, and it's all dyed blonde. And he's like, "Don't apologize, I never do." And that's our last shot.
I mean, that's it's a great
entire show.
great last shot, but what a
It's a downer.
God,
It's definitely a downer.
It's so fucking good, and now I have to live with the fact that there's not going to be more.
Uh-huh.
So that's cool.
I mean, I was mad, like, 12 years ago.
Awful.
Ugh. Yep, and it ended because of like contractual things between Marvel and Sony, with Sony renegotiating its movie rights and giving up the rights to do a animated TV show back to Marvel in order to keep the film rights.
Not worth. Not worth.
And the only thing that made me feel better was that then Sony got to make Into the Spider-Verse eventually, and that shit fucking rules.
Spider-Verse is very...
It worked out. We got Spider-Verse. Can't blame the universe that eventually led to Spider-Verse. As much as I would have liked to see more of this show. The show is not as good as Into the Spider-Verse, as good as it is. And it's quite good. But that movie is fucking unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, I like that they don't have to compete, because one's not they're two different, if it was also a film, then we'd be in trouble. But show versus film, like.
Yeah, and I've kind of like never been able to give the two Spider-Man TV shows that came out after this I kind of haven't given them a fair shake, I would say. I don't know that I've even finished an episode of either of them before like turning them off in disgust.
I did a handful of episodes of Spidey and His Amazing Friends.
Oh, that's the third one. So
Yeah.
that's a different. The 3-minute episodes or whatever.
They
The show for babies.
They ruined it. They ruined it early on.
Oh no! How did they do?
They made it. Okay, so episode 1 is literally again 3 minutes, and like a minute of this is the theme or whatever shit. So yeah, episode 1 was Spider-Man, Peter, and Spider-Man Miles and Ghost Spider at their headquarters, and they had like these comm links that are definitely not just to sell toys to kids that go on their wrists, and they have to like link them to the computer like that runs the base and shit. And Ghost Spider like clicks hers and says Ghost Spider, and she's registered. And Peter like clicks his and he's like Spider-Man, and Miles clicks his and says Spider-Man. But there's already a Spider-Man registered. So they're like, what can Miles' name be? And they eventually go with Spin because he does a spin move.
No.
He's still called Spider-Man, but they had to I don't know.
What?
A stupid problem with
he's Spider-Man.
Stupid resolution.
I hate that.
And the second,
I hate that. Now I hate that show.
Yeah, it was not a great start. The second episode brought it back a little bit because it was literally just Spider-Man trying to fucking find. Was it? There were two Goofy episodes. Goofy is in low stakes. I think the first one he has to find a cat, and he's just finding this cat. And the second one, a little girl's scooter disappeared, and that's where he's like, oh man, I can't find it. I looked all over the city. And then he calls in Ghost Spider, and she shows up, and she's like, wow, look, there's scooter tracks in the fucking dirt. But
yeah. For babies.
No, but see, the next episode ruins it. Because then they're Spider-Man's like, oh man, Doc Ock is doing some bad stuff. And Hulk shows up. Baby Hulk shows up to help. And I'm like, this isn't what I'm about. I wanted more scooters. I didn't want world domination plots. Help me. I want to watch you solve the case of baby's fallen ice cream cone. So I'm out. That's not what I'm there for.
Got too complicated.
Yeah, they really ramped up the complexity. But yeah, no, it's when you said it's for babies, I thought it's literally for fucking babies.
Yeah. Yep. Ugh. I like the Green Goblin's rosy cheeks. I find that very funny.
Yeah, he has the little. Yeah, it's a good
because they're all
good time.
They have to be soft and friendly, even the villains.
Yeah,
so they don't hurt babies. I can't. I just keep going back to okay, I was 6 when I watched Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
But I guess this is for fucking 5-month-year-olds or whatever. So
yeah,
this is for tiny babies. So different class of thing even.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Spectacular Spider-Man, just even as a regular cartoon, it's probably way fucking up there.
Yeah.
It's certainly top 10 for me. I don't know if it's top 5. I would have to sit and think. But it's certainly top 10.
It is when you're talking about rankings of stuff that high, it is certainly hurt by the fact that it just fucking ends.
Yeah.
at a bummer time.
Yeah.
That there wasn't that there's only 26 episodes. But it's so good.
Yeah, no, the quality is still there. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Good shit.
On quality again, my easiest comparison is the thing my other solace was that Victor Cook, one of the head guys on this, then went on to make Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated,
right,
which is also up there in quality for me. So that's another place where I get solace, because that show fucking rules, and that show gets to end. That show's ending is amazing. So that show gets to do everything it needed to. So
I need to revisit that one. I dropped out because the download I found had the worst audio quality, to the point where it hurt to listen to. It was super staticky.
Yeah, we'll figure out what format we're gonna do for that show when you get back, I guess.
Yeah,
because we should do that one. That show's that good. Now that we've finished this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, good.
Because that show also has a thing of just the action animation is just excellent.
Oh yeah.
So in my oversimplification, outsider, like, I just want to give the credit to one person. I can give the credit to Victor Cook for that shit. So, of being a guy in charge who cared about that kind of thing. Not that he's gone on to do anything else interesting since, but you know how it is.
Yeah.
So it goes. 2 good shows, not bad.
Yeah, man. Good ratio.
Salt Circle Podcast at gmail.com, Salt Circle Pod on Twitter, anchor.fm/Salt Circle. I'm on Twitter at Comic Panels.
I'm not on Twitter. You know.
Nice. Good moves. Sometimes I see panels of Spider-Man on there, though.
I mean, you're making the sacrifice because then sometimes you share those panels with me and I get them without being on Twitter.
It's true.
So
And sometimes I make them emotes on Discord. I think the one that's a sticker on the Burning Barrel Discord of the Spider-Man with the head in his hand. I saw that panel on Twitter.
Hell yeah.
I think the other ones were from stuff I was rereading. Because of, I think I was rereading around like the first Black Cat issue.
Gotcha.
Because that's where I got Spider-Man dressed up as a fucking Jawa.
Hell
Which
yeah.
is just fucking top tier, honestly.
It's very good.
And Spider-Man in a fedora was, I think that's like the last, that's from like the last Ditko issue, I think. I was also looking at like where the changeover happened between Ditko and Romita Sr. for the art, like the first artist change on Spider-Man.
Gotcha. No, it's good stuff.
'Cause it was the first Romita issue has the big image is like on the cover. It's the Green Goblin having like wrapped up Spider-Man and is like dragging Spider-Man along, and Spider-Man's mask is off.
Oh.
Like it's just Peter's face. So it's pretty like, yo, shit is happening. Shit is happening.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm also a little bit like thinking about what Spider-Man comics we should read next time we do Spider-Man comics. And one of my places to go is the first Clone Saga. Miles Warren as the Jackal.
I mean, yeah.
Because those comics have the part where Jonah throws his shoe out a window at Spider-Man and then blames Spider-Man for making him throw his shoe out the window.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Because I think those issues are good, but I think they read fairly well.
Okay.
And I don't want to do like, I don't know. We could also actually do older issues that are like important, but that I like less, I guess. I enjoy reading less, like the actual Death of Gwen Stacy comics or earlier Green Goblin stories. But I don't know.
I mean, we have that.
I don't know about that.
We have that Spider-Man Mary Jane one coming up.
We need to read Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane. There was like a Marvel Adventures line that was more aimed at kids that had like its own continuity. That's more classic, that has some of the is pretty good. I actually really like, but it's not connected to anything weirdly. In that, Spider-Man dates a girl who can talk to pigeons. The writer of that just creates this character, and that's who ends up dating Spider-Man. And they have she works at like a detective agency, so he helps her with that stuff. Good shit.
Nice. Yeah. Spider-Man's good shit, dude. I'm enjoying it.
Spider-Man's good shit, but I don't want to go through the stories where like all these side characters get killed off. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, that's
That I don't want to
not
do.
not ideal.
It's like mostly it's like thinking of like this Gwen Stacy is so good. It's like, but where do you go for more Gwen stories
Go to Ghost Spider.
other than Ghost Spider? But that's still kind of like a completely different character.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, we could read Ultimate Spider-Man, but she does die there. She comes back as Carnage, and then she gets better from being Carnage.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And then Peter dies.
Just
That
kill
also
everybody.
is a bummer ending. But then Miles is good. I don't know. Comics are hard. It's hard to recommend comics because kind of the most optimal way to consume comics is to just fucking read them as they're and take them as they are and then just live with it. That's what I do.
Impossible for me.
And then you get to yell at people about the things that happened. And that's fun. That's the benefit of having undergone all that work. It's just being able to say shit like. And then Harry married Liz Allen and they had a kid and he always carried around a Spider-Man doll. And then Harry got sick because the Green Goblin serum in him was killing him and he died.
Jesus.
And then he came back into continuity after the Spider-Man made a deal with the devil to erase his marriage to Mary Jane and people knowing Peter Parker was Spider-Man, and they also just brought Harry back because fuck it at that point. Why not? But it's like the worst Spider-Man story, but then leads to like the best run. Like it like actually made Spider because of that continuity reset, like the Spider and the people they had working on Spider-Man after it, like the Spider-Man comics that come out of that are so good.
Hell yeah.
It's a funny thing. And some people just didn't read them because they were all too busy burning Spider-Man comics because they're like, Spider-Man can't make a deal with the devil. That's dumb.
Oh,
Bad. And I'm like, I remember when Spider-Man was like ready to sell his soul to Mephisto to save the spirit of Christmas. He was like a literal angel.
Well, that's a worthy cause. That's acceptable.
He was ready to do it. He said, I agree. I'll do it.
Anyway.
Gotta save the spirit of Christmas.
Anyway.
That's a podcast.
It is. It was a good one. Good shit.
This is I love the show.
Yeah.
It's so good. There was like a Twitter campaign of people saying, make season 3. I'm like, you idiots. This show is so old that like Sony doesn't have the rights to make it anymore is what happened. Like, I appreciate the sentiment, but like, man, are you too late?
Yeah. Not well.
It was funny seeing that and like, okay, people did like this show. Because it was also a thing of like, it kind of was mishandled in how they put it out.
Sure.
Like it leaked to the internet because it like aired in New Zealand before it ever aired in the US. So like, I watched every episode before it started airing on TV here.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't have cable anyway. I was gonna be watching Disney XD where it aired. But it was so good.
Yeah.
Anyway, peace.
Peace.
No more rhinos.